Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Good to see you all. Sweet to be with you again. Um, so let's go ahead and just take a few moments to do a sit. Tonight I'm going to do a shorter sit just because I want to do some experiential work tonight. And so we won't sit quite as long as we normally do. So we'll just do a shorter sit this evening. So you can go ahead and get comfortable. And like I said, if you like to lay down, just make sure you have a bolster or some pillows under your knees, just raising your legs a little bit. And tonight, maybe I'll leave it that you can do a sit that feels comfortable for you. So if you'd like to do some loving kindness for yourself or a breath practice, breathing out tension, you could do that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just say the loving kindness practice just one time, just to introduce the phrases for those of you who may not have them memorized. And again, you don't have to work hard at it. It's just whatever the phrases are that feel supportive to you, you could just say them to yourself. So, just getting comfortable, breathing out and letting go of our day. Just letting ourselves arrive in this moment. Just taking a moment, just notice how you are right here, right now. The day has been with various conditions, and it's like, oh, it's like this right now. It's always temporary. We can just appreciate what is in the moment. And so, as I said, this evening we'll do a slightly shorter sit, and I'll just say the loving kindness phrases just to get us started. And I'll pause in between each phrase so you can say it for yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be well and healthy. May I be safe from inner harm and outer harm. May I be free. May I be happy and content. And just continuing with whatever practice feels right to you this evening. If the mind gets too busy, you can just simply breathe out mental tension, thoughts and worries. Just breathe them out on the out-breath, allowing yourself to empty. So, last week we talked about kind of setting up the year for this practice, and I talked about the attitude of practice last week. Talked about expecting that we can change and bringing loving kindness to our practice and self-care and gratitude. And then I ended our talk just reflecting on my sister Debbie had her birthday over Zoom, and she had asked everybody, what makes for a great life? And there were all these wise people, who have been through a lot of difficulties and hardship and come out the other side. And some of the things that we talked about last week that I named were things like being around good-hearted people and vulnerability. Someone said letting go of your fears so that there can be more joy and your life gets bigger, or trusting your heart and being true to your heart, accepting what is. And I said at the end that really what everybody was pointing to was this idea of living with an undefended heart, that all these people had become much more wise about how living with an undefended heart was getting them a better life, was getting them more peace and ease, those kinds of things. And so tonight I wanted to talk about how do we get that undefended heart? How do we get there? I'm sure you guys all have your own wisdom, and hopefully you trust that. But I just wanted to add some practices this year that help us get there. So to me, there's two things that we need to create a successful life and to create a life where we live our deepest self. And that is being in touch with and coming to know our deep essential nature, our true nature. And the other is releasing the obscurations, the pain, the old fear, old outdated beliefs that we have that keep us bound in a suffering mind, that keep us bound up in our fears and our worries and all the kinds of neurotic things that we can get caught up in, addictions, all that kind of stuff. So to me, these are the two keys. How do we get in touch with our essential nature? How do we release all these obscurations? And then how do we take our seat there? How do we take our seat in our true essential nature and begin to kind of navigate life from that place? So this evening, I want to begin by doing some practice and just pointing to and talking about tonight this first one, getting in touch with our essential nature, really getting this to become our home base and where we come home to again and again and again, and eventually come to live in this space. So this evening I wanted to do just a couple of experiential pieces just to get us in touch. Some of you may have taken the class I offered on this, and so some of it will be familiar to you. But I always find that it's always great to have a review, and it's not even just a review from our minds, it's more experientially touching into it. What's it like to get in touch with it again, to come back in contact with it? So I'm going to show 3 exercises tonight that kind of can open the door, because there's many different kinds of minds, many different people in the world with different beliefs and conditioning, and we don't all get there the same way. And so when we do this work, I always am going to encourage you to rely on your deep wisdom and intuition. And so if something doesn't quite work for you, play with it until you find what works for you. So I'll just go through 3 of them tonight, and then maybe we'll even have some time for some questions and things. So I invite you to just go ahead and get comfortable again, and you can close your eyes. And we're going to just start with the practice that we often do here, the one that's most familiar to us. And so I'm just going to invite you to just notice any tension or discomfort that's in your body, any distracting energy. And so you may notice there's some physical stress or tension, maybe some busyness or buzzing. You may have some mental tension, a lot of thoughts going through your head this evening. Or you may be more consumed with your heart this evening. Perhaps you feel sad or worried, anxious. Whatever you're noticing, just begin to simply breathe it out on the out-breath, just letting it go. No need to hold on to it. Conditions are such that, oh, it's just like this in the moment. That's okay. We can notice it and just let it go, release it with our out-breath. If you like, you may notice it as energy leaving your body. So you may notice heat leaving your body, or there's a little shaking that's just vibrating out of your body. If so, just letting it go on its way. Making lots of space for it. And in doing this, we're just emptying out the extra energy that's been activated today. And as you empty out, just taking a moment to notice how that is for you. You might feel your shoulders drop, or you feel a little more relaxed inside. Just letting go of all the stories and the noise. And with some of this energy dissipated now, I just invite you to allow yourself to take a step back into the quiet that's in the background. So just feeling any place where there's some quiet or space, you just take a step back into that quiet. And begin breathing into the quiet. Just letting it come into focus. Letting it get as big as it wants. No need to grow it, just allowing its natural space. And if you like, allow yourself to become it. We do this by just letting go of the body for a moment, letting go of stories, and just let the quiet energy be your body. So it's as if the quiet is breathing. The quiet is our body. And now I'm just going to do some reflections to just help us bring it into focus. So I'd invite you to begin by just noticing its general attitude as you breathe this quiet. Just notice its attitude. For instance, is it agitated? Or is it more peaceful or perhaps kind? As it looks out on the world, you might notice some warmth or friendliness. And letting that go, and again, just coming back to the quiet breathing, allowing it to be your body. I invite you to notice the energy and the busyness that's in your sensations. There might be tingling, vibrations. And just notice, is this energy, this quiet energy, busy? Or is itself more peaceful and at ease? Oh, it's like this. And then you can let that go. Again, just breathing as the quiet energy. And in our normal life, we know of aging and illness, injury. And just notice, is this quiet energy aging, ill? Or is it well and healthy? Free of physical suffering? And you can let that go as well. Again, just coming back to the quiet breathing. And also in the world, there are disruptions, difficulties, things that make us fearful or uneasy. And just take a moment and notice, in regard to the world, is this quiet energy feeling fear? Or is it more safe or neutral? Just in this moment. You may notice a slight detachment from the world. Or dispassion. And you can let that go and just empty and be with the quiet breathing again, letting go of stories. And there are many rules and conventions in the world. And just notice, is this quiet energy concerned with those rules and conventions? Bound up by them? Or is it free? Free of conventions, allowed to be as it is. If so, just take a moment to allow that freedom, to just enjoy it. And then you can let that go and just again resting in the quiet, peace, and ease. Coming back to center. And finally, the mind often has worries and needs. We often spend our day trying to chase things that we think will make us happy or satisfied or good enough. And just take a moment to notice, does this quiet energy need to race around? Or is it simply content? Content unto itself. Everything is enough. The moment is enough just as it is. Just this. So as we go through these qualities, most people find that this quiet, essential energy is kind, peaceful and at ease. Well and healthy. Safe. Free. And content. I remind you of these phrases. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be well and healthy. May I be safe from all harm. May I be free. May I be happy and content. This is our essential nature, our natural mind. Who we are without all the noise of our conventional conditioning and our old stories. Who we are before all the stories. Our original self. And we we can learn to come home to it anytime and to even live from here, meeting the world from this place, safe, at ease, peaceful, content. I like to call it essence, but you can call it whatever feels true for you. So I just want you to let that kind of shake off for a moment. We're not going to move on yet. I want to give you the other two doors. So for some people, that stepping back is a very easy way to, it's like this. Yeah. But I just want to give you two other doors that you can try for you, and one of them may work better than the other. So for a moment, just go ahead and close your eyes again, or look softly at the floor. And I just want you to just imagine or allow yourself for a moment. Feel yourself inside, noticing, oh, there's a world. And then let yourself become the one who watches. One is watching. There's someone watching or something watching. And let yourself breathe and become the watcher. Notice that the watcher is quiet, not entangled with the world. The one watching is safe. Curious. And at ease. And it may have a slightly different tonal quality than the one we just did. But that's okay, because there's many facets, many views of essence, many tastes. So just allow the watcher to be as it is. We can make friends with the watcher, become the watcher, and not be entangled with the world. And then go ahead and let go of that. You can open your eyes for a moment if you like, or shake it off for a second. Just kind of come back in your body again. Just a little more normal, ordinary mind. And then I'm just going to give you one more gateway. And again, just because we're all different, what works for one may not work for another. So in this one, you can go ahead and close your eyes again. And instead of being internally focused, allow yourself to begin to pay attention or notice the space in the room. Just notice how spacious the room is. Feel the freedom of it. It's not confined or enclosed in your body. It's empty. And let yourself begin just breathing into the space in the room. Letting yourself become this spacious, open awareness. And you just become more and more open, more and more at ease. Letting go of the stories. You may feel yourself becoming wider or more expansive. And again, this has a different quality to it. Might feel more airy to you, or boundless. Just another viewpoint, another orientation. And we can be just as peaceful and at ease in this spacious awareness. When we do that one, we get a little more spacey. So you can come back to ordinary mind. So, just want to offer this quote. I love this quote by Jack Gilbert. We must unlearn the constellations to see the stars. Right? We are a constellation of beliefs and sensations and feelings and our essential nature. And we see ourselves a certain tight way. Like, oh, I'm this, and I'm happy, and I'm sad, and I'm good, and I'm male, and I'm female, and I'm bad, and whatever we are. And by doing these practices of coming back to our essential nature, we're literally undoing our construct of the constellation. And when we undo the constellation, oh, we see the stars. Oh, whoa, there's so much more here going on. Sensations, feelings, wisdom. I'm not entangled. I'm not scared anymore. The whole vision gets bigger, way bigger. And in that spaciousness, we have the peace and ease we need to go through life without being caught up in all the suffering dramas that are going on, whether in our own mind or the ones being fed to us out in the world. So when we have this ability to come into our essential nature, not only do we have, oh, this is who I'm remembering who I am, this kind of waking up. If you think about back when you were a kid, if you have any memories of like running through the field, often you don't have, in the memory, you don't have a body, right? There's just this movement running. There's just movement running. We were so in touch with our essential nature when we were younger that we didn't get caught up in, am I fast enough? Can I do this? Can my body handle it? We didn't ask those questions. We just did it. We tried, right? And so we come back into an incredible freedom in ourselves. We can't get entangled anymore. We're not caught up by convention. Somebody says, well, you have to be this way because of your gender or your culture or whatever. And you're just, essential nature looks, essence looks and goes, thanks for sharing. I think I'll just go do what I feel like doing. I think I'll go be free and be me and be love and compassion and all kinds of wonderful things, right? The other thing that essential nature gives us is refuge. And that's really important if we want to really let go of suffering and really be free. Because we're going to have to face down all those conventions, all those fears and pains and trauma and stories about ourselves. Somebody says, you have cancer, you have this. It's like, in order to face those things, to face our traumas, you have to have a place inside that is safe from it, that doesn't buy it. That's like, yeah, I know you think, I hear voices saying I'm not good enough. You step back into essential nature and it's like totally good enough, right? Or you have some voice in your head screaming, I'm dying, I'm dying. And essential nature's like, yeah, not dying. Totally fine, peaceful and at ease. Thanks for sharing. So you have this incredible refuge inside that allows you to go into any trauma you've had, any difficulty you've had, any shaming you've had, and to be able to see it for what it is and release it. And so it becomes this incredible refuge. It is like the first thing I do when I am under some kind of overwhelm. I step back, I come into essential nature, and I look at it again. And it's like essential nature's like, I got this. Right? So I want to offer you a practice that you could try this week. If you like it, try it for the whole month. And I'm just calling it 5-5-5, but I don't care if you do 3-3-3. I don't care if you do 60-60-60. I don't care. Do whatever feels right to you. But all I'm going to invite you to do is for just 1 week, as part of your practice, take 5 minutes for loving kindness. Right? And what's so beautiful now is that you can see that loving kindness is actually an invocation. It's actually an invocation to become essential nature. May I be loving kindness, peaceful and at ease, free, safe from all harm, inner and outer harm. I have cancer. Essence does not have cancer, right? May I be content, happy and content. So it's actually an invocation to become. Every time we say it, we're saying this prayer that we become our deeper self. How beautiful. So 5 minutes of loving kindness. Then 5 minutes of breathing out any tension you notice. Okay, so loving kindness, I'm a little settled. Oh yeah, but there's still this fear inside, this busyness going on. So just take a few minutes to breathe that out, just to empty out. Okay, I settled my mind with loving kindness. Now I'm emptying out that extra energy. And then 5 minutes of however you step back into your essence, your essential nature. You might step back and breathe into the quiet. You may become the witness, the one who sees. You may become the space in the room. However you contact this deep, open, spacious, safe, natural mind. And then just hang out there for 5 minutes. Let it be who you are. Let yourself remember what it's like to be a human being connected with this. And breathe it through your whole body, just like we do with gratitude practice. Breathe it through your whole body, anchor it. Oh, it's like this. And then gently open your eyes. Don't think, don't know what you're seeing, don't name anything. Just let essence look through your eyes and just notice color and shape. And notice what it's like to look at the world with your natural mind instead of your ordinary, busy, conventional mind. And you'll get some real tastes of freedom. And so this is normal. This is a normal part of being human. This is not woo-woo. This is not weird. It's who we are. We just have not been conditioned to be connected to it. You know, many indigenous cultures, spiritual cultures, they do that work of being connected with it every day. But here in the Western world, we're not that connected with this part of ourselves. So don't make it strange and other and different. It's just, I think of essence as the experience is, it is me in the absolute present. There's no future thinking, there's no past thinking. It's just, oh, energy's like this. And when you're in the here and the now, as Eckhart Tolle would call it, you're not entangled with the world. You're not saying, oh, tomorrow it's all going to be terrible. It's just, oh, it's like this right now. You know, sometimes I've worked with people who've had cancer and they say, I'm dying. And I'm like, no, you're just sitting on the couch talking with me right now. You know, are you dying right now? And they're like, oh no, I guess I'm not. It's like, it's really important to know when you're not dying, right? And so it's this beautiful, ever-present moment. And you're absolutely safe in it. It is the eye of the hurricane in the world. So I just want to share 2 more quotes with you. One is from Mary Oliver, who many of us love, great poet. And I love it when a poet tells you the secret of how they've done what they do, right? So she says, when I walk out in the world, I take no thoughts with me. That's not easy, but you can learn to do it. With an empty mind, you're hungry, curious. So you look at everything longer and closer. Don't hum. Don't hum. When you listen with empty ears, you hear more. And this is the core of the secret. Attention, real attention, is the beginning of devotion. So she's showing you how she writes those poems. I'm so empty, I'm in essential nature, I just meet the world, and attention is the beginning of devotion. That's how she can write so intimately about the flower, or the seashell, or the bear. Because there's nothing between her and it. There's no ordinary mind clouding. Yeah. And then this is from an Indian teacher. And I love this because he speaks to this stepping back without really saying it. The movement in myself from the mask to the face, from the personality to the person, from the performing actor to the ruler of the inner chamber. This is a spiritual journey. To live, work, and suffer on this shore in faithfulness, but to hear the whispers from the other shore is a spiritual life. So I love this, coming from the mask to the face, from the personality to the person, coming to the inner chamber, right? So the pointings are everywhere if we know how to hear them. And we know how to hear them the more we practice in ourselves. So I hope this is of service to you in your journey, in your awakening. You know, a lot of people think that, spiritual awakening is about big fireworks and enlightenment, whatever that story goes. But I love Jack Kornfield had this story where he said, you know, after the ecstasy, there's the laundry, right? And what he's pointing to is that those moments of fireworks are beautiful. They're in the Buddhist tradition, they're called jhanas. They're beautiful and wonderful, but they're not the seat of awakening. They're not the seat of awakening. We can even question sometimes, can you step back from that firework, and is there something quietly aware and watching? I invite you to try it sometime if you are someone who likes to go on retreats, those kinds of things. So this is one important thread, and then the other is how we release these obscurations so that we're no longer suffering, we're no longer identified with them. So may you sleep well with peaceful and ease tonight, you know, step back. And if you're inspired or moved by these teachings, I welcome your support. You can make donations on my website. And it just is this mutual sharing of generosity that goes back and forth for us all. And so I welcome your support of my work if you're moved to do so. And let's do a mindful moment so that we always include others in what we have found. Yeah. So you can just close your eyes for a moment or look at the floor and just may any peace and ease that we have discovered, uncovered tonight, may it saturate us deeply and show us the way to more riches and more awakening and more truth. May we not be entangled with the world. And may our practice ripple out beyond us in our actions, our words, our prayers, and in transmission, may it just all ripple out through the world so that all beings can come to taste this peace and ease as well. And they can find their essential nature. So, thank you everybody.